everyone, welcome back to the Professional English Course Intermediate Level Part 4 by Life Changers Academy. So today we are going to learn about professional sentence structures, okay? So now before we start, think about this, okay? In a workplace, it is enough to know English words and grammar, guys? Not really. Yes, you may have a good technical skills, you may know how to know your job very well, okay? But if you don't know how to communicate professionally, means it can become difficult to work with others efficiently, right? For example, imagine you need a report, okay? You need a report or else you need some documents, okay? So from your colleague, how can you ask? So you just ask, send me the report. So you can ask, send me the report, but it's not in a polite and professional way. Instead, you can say, could you please send me the report? It sounds more polite as well as more professional. That's exactly today's lesson is all about, okay? So without any delay, we will start this session. Okay, first we are going to see why professional sentence structures matter. Before learning the sentence structure, let's understand why they are important, okay? So communication is one of the most valuable skills in any workplace, okay? The way you speak can influence how people see you. That's right? When you use professional sentence structure, your communication becomes clear as well as it will be easy to understand. This help avoid misunderstandings, okay? So another benefit is respect. When you use the polite English, people feel valued as well as appreciated. For example, I'll say two sentences, okay? You will be comparing the sentence. First one is give me the file. Give me the file is completely different from could you please share the file with me. Both have the same meaning only, but one sound much more respectful, right? Professional communication also helps you to build the confidence, okay? When you know the right words to use, you will be feel more comfortable speaking in meetings as well as discussions or as any team lead meetings and all, okay? And finally, it will be build the strong workplace relationship also, okay? That's why the professional sentence structures matters the most. Next, we are going to learn about making professional request. Let's move on the first topic. That one is making the professional request. At work, we often need help from others. Means we need the information, we need documents, we need feedback, or we need support and all, right? The key is to ask the things in a polite way. Instead of giving the commands, we make the request, okay? For example, imagine you need a report from a colleague. Means you could say, could you please send me the report? This sounds polite as well as professional, okay? Another example is, would you mind helping me with this task? This is very common expression in professional environments, okay? You can also say, I would appreciate your assistance, okay? This sounds formal as well as respectful. Remember, making polite requests shows that you respect the other person's time as well as efforts, okay? And that creates a positive working environment, okay? So that's why making a professional request is also an important concept. And then you're going to see common request phrases. Let's look at some common phrases used when making the request, okay? First, you can use could you please. Could you please means this is one of the most frequently used request phrases in the business communication, okay? You will see the 4 examples, okay? I will explain that one, okay? Second one is would you kindly. Would you kindly means this sounds slightly more formal, okay? And then may request. May request is something used in the formal situations and all, okay? And finally, I would appreciate it if. That means using that means it's like appreciation for the work. That means it is also used in a formal professional way, okay? And then using these phrases helps your communication sounds polite, respectful as well as very professional, okay? So that common request phrases are used in your business workplace communication, okay? Now we are going to see give suggestion professionally. That means you have to give your suggestions professionally, okay? In your workplace, we often share ideas as well as recommendations, right? Instead of telling people what to do, we invite discussion. That means see the first example. I suggest reviewing the proposal, okay? See the 3 examples. We could consider another option as well as perhaps we should discuss further, okay? So you are not frozen an idea, okay? You are simply presenting a possibility, okay? You can also say that perhaps we should discuss this further. That means this encourages the teamwork as well as the conversations, okay? Professional suggestions help create a positive atmosphere around your workplace communications, okay? So next we are going to see requesting permission politely. How to request the how to ask permission in a polite way, okay? It's important to ask before taking certain actions, right? So for example, may I leave early today? Okay, this is polite and respectful. And then could I join the meeting means this is a professional way to ask for participation. You can also say, would it be okay if I shared this? This sounds friendly and considerate, okay? Using expressions like may I, could I, and would it be okay? It helps maintain professionalism as well as respect in workplace communication, okay? So whether you are asking some permissions in your company or else in your workplace environment, you can use these kind of request phrases, okay? Next we are going to see that asking question professionally. When you have some clarity or else when you want to ask the questions means how can we ask professionally, that one we will be seeing in this session, okay? Good questions help us learn, clarify information to avoid mistakes, right? However, the way we ask question matters. Instead of saying explain this, you can say could you explain it? Could you explain this process, right? This sounds more professional, right? As another one example is could you clarify that point? This is useful during meetings and presentations, okay? And then may I ask question or could you provide me more details? These are the polite questions that shows the interest as well as it will be showing some professionalism. Also, it will be in a respectful manner, right? So when you are asking any doubts or else any questions to your manager or else in your higher official, you can use these phrases for asking the questions, okay? So next we are going to see another one concept, that one is professional communication in action, okay? Let's see how all these sentence structure work in real place situations, okay? Imagine, okay? So what are the things I'm teaching you? Just imagine the concept okay? So that only it will be easy to understand the concepts, okay? So just imagine you're speaking with your colleague, okay? To make request, you may say, could you please, okay? And then for us you give any suggestions means I suggest, okay? You will use I suggest updating the document. To ask permission means may I take a day off tomorrow? Likewise you will be asking. For any question means could you please explain? Okay, these examples may seem simple only. You will think that this is like a simple example only. Why in this class it will be teaching means this will simple, but they make a big difference in professional communications, okay? The more you use them, the more natural they become, okay? So in this session we will completely learn about how to making the request, how to speak in a professional way. Likewise we will be seeing some things, right? I hope you understand all these concepts clearly, okay? So now it's your time to do this session, okay? I'm going to read the sentence and you can think about the answers, okay? So first one, you please send me the report, okay? What is the you will be fill the blanks, okay? I dash reviewing the proposals, dash I join the meeting, could you dash this process, okay? You will be answer these 4 sentences to test your knowledge, okay? How long you will be understand, okay? So guys, practice these expressions regularly, okay? So they become a part of your everyday communication, okay? So we will be in the end of this session. So we learn how to make professional requests, we learn how to request permission respectively. So we will learn how to ask questions also professionally, right? So remember one thing, professional communication is not about using difficult words. I already said, right? I will say this point in every video ended, right? So it will be in a respectful way, clear way, as well as in a confident manner, okay? The more you practice these sentences structure, the more professional you will sound in the meetings, okay? Interviews, emails, as well as in the workplace conversations, okay? Thank you for joining today's session. So guys, keep practicing, keep improving yourself, and I will see you in the next session. So keep learning with Life Changes Academy. Thank you guys. Have a great day for everyone. Okay.